Toy Story 4 is really freaking good. Now, believe it or not, I actually did not even want a Toy Story 4. Like many of you, I loved the first, second, and third movie. I was completely satisfied with how Toy Story ended, and I thought it was a great way to wrap up an incredible childhood series. So when I heard Toy Story 4 was actually a thing, I wasn't very excited. I'm not gonna lie. I just did not think anything could beat how they ended the Toy Story series the way they did in Toy Story 3. Like, that was the whole point of the movie. I loved that ending. It was bittersweet, but a proper way to close out the series. That's why I did not think Toy Story 4 was even possible or necessary. When Incredibles 2 came out, that only proved my point more. Incredibles 2 was pretty fun, but I actually didn't really like it as much. At the end of the day, it was a movie that just didn't need to happen. I didn't think Toy Story 4 had anything else to say, so I basically just thought of it as a cash grab. Cash grab Story 4.
I don't want it. I never have.
So I went into this movie with low expectations, and I was proven wrong. This movie didn't copy and paste a formula from a previous movie. No, it's actually very different, but it's still consistent with Toy Story's tone. This still feels like a legitimate Toy Story sequel, and it had a lot to say. It calls back to the original movies to send strong messages about loyalty, letting go and moving on, as well as touching on themes of identity and self-worth. It does all of this while still being a kids movie. Now, one thing that I really love is when movies have good writing, and this movie has really good writing. And I'm not just talking about the dialogue, even though it's pretty good too. No, the story and the characters just have great writing. When you watch this movie, you'll probably think you know where it's going, or you might even wonder what this movie is trying to set up. But it wasn't until the movie ended that I realized how it all just fell into place beautifully. The story still felt fresh, and even the new characters were really well done. I actually liked a lot of the new characters. This movie starts out with Woody's owner Bonnie starting kindergarten. On her first day, she creates her own toy with arts and crafts supplies and names him Sporky. Now, I actually thought this character was going to annoy me based on the trailers. But no, I actually liked him a lot. When Sporky comes to life, he is actually extremely self-aware and constantly questions his own existence and his purpose in life. So Woody has to teach Sporky about loyalty and selflessness, that Sporky is actually extremely important for Bonnie's growth. This creates a father and son dynamic between Woody and Sporky, and I really liked it. It was different. Speaking of new characters, I just want to say the antagonist of this movie is really good. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into her character because of spoilers, but I love what they did with her and how it played out. It was something we haven't seen in these movies, and it's done so well. A lot of the original characters from previous movies come back too. Buzz Lightyear comes back, which is obvious because he's basically the second main character next to Woody. Bo Peep returns in this movie, and she's more than just a love interest. She's an actual character. Then we obviously got some new characters too. Sporky, as I mentioned earlier, being the biggest one. We've got Key and Peele as two comedic plushies, a good antagonist. Oh, and Keanu freaking Reeves. Seriously, I didn't even know he was in this movie until I saw his name in the credits. And, as expected, he is straight up awesome. The moment his character came in, I was on board.
Duke Kaboom, Canada's greatest stuntman. Huh. Oh yeah. Ha. 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 Ha.
He's posing. Duke, we need to,
Hold on. One more. Oh yeah.
It goes without saying, this movie is just gorgeous. The animation has come a long way. Seriously, if you look at Toy Story 1, the human characters are just terrifying. Like, look at that. What is that? Is this supposed to be cute? That is terrifying. But in this movie, the lighting is amazing, the animation is smooth, and the rain looks so good. This movie just continued to exceed my expectations. I was laughing way more than I thought I would. For example, I thought I'd hate Key and Peele's characters. I found them really annoying in the trailers, and I still do. I thought they'd just be used for cheap humor. But no, their characters are actually kind of relevant, and they have some really funny moments. It was also really well paced. There was enough going on to keep you invested and entertained, and when it slowed down, it does so at the right time. I really don't know what else to say here. This is a good movie. There are a few things that it didn't really like, but the flaws are really minor. Some of them are just personal preference. I think honestly my biggest problem with the movie is that I wish we saw more Buzz. He's in the movie a good amount, but he's not really the second main character that he was in previous movies. Woody and Buzz don't even interact with each other that much, which is kind of disappointing to me. The friendship between Woody and Buzz is iconic and a staple of the series, but their interactions are very minimal compared to the other movies. A lot of the original characters are actually barely in this movie. Like, I honestly can't even remember if Mr. Potato Head had any lines. but there are personal reasons behind that. I was not aware that the voice actor had passed away a couple years ago, and his family wanted them to reuse the lines that they had used in previous movies. So that one isn't even that big of a problem. Like I said, these were my personal issues with the movie, but it didn't ruin it for me. The movie ended in a satisfying way, and I'm actually okay with this being the end of the series. Toy Story 3 was a great conclusion, but I don't have any arguments about this movie being the last one. It didn't kill the franchise at all. If you really wanted to, you could think of Toy Story 4 being the epilogue to Toy Story 3. That's what I did, and I think it made me love these movies even more, which I didn't think was possible. That's really all I can say about this movie. It's good, it's fun, go watch it. I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. A pleasant surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, and if you're interested, I do have some Spider-Man related projects coming up, so feel free to subscribe and stay tuned. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.